Thank you for joining us for our program today on platform. The handout materials that go with this program can be found on the LAER Career Den under the library. It's under the New Agent Training Program, the New Agent 30-Day Training Program. It is day 11 materials you can print out, and those are the handouts that go along with the program. So today we're going to talk about building a platform. What is a platform? It is a stage or a pulpit. So in order for you to build a massive real estate business, one of the things you'll need to get great at is building an audience of people that want to hear from you. So we need to kind of create our own stage where people look to us for information about something. The bigger the audience, then the more people there are to hear you, which means potential buyers and sellers. The bigger our audience, the more ability we have to expand our network, because all those people know people. The bigger the audience we have, the more and better relationships. And the bigger our audience, the better our ability to showcase our expertise. So when it comes to building an audience, size matters. We all want to have a larger audience if we want to build a larger real estate business. So one of the things I talk about today is how I built a massive audience for myself. My book, Reach, is all about how to create reach in your business. Reach is, number one, going after a big, hairy, audacious goal. But reach is also about building a massive audience, a network of people who are as obsessed about helping you achieve your dream as you are. So how do you get this massive network of people, this massive audience of people who basically just want to help you achieve your dream? So over the last 10 years, I've met countless people, you name it. I've met everybody that I've wanted to meet, except a couple that I'm still working on. But celebrities, business owners, CEOs, business leaders, authors, sports team owners, you name it. I consider it like my backstage pass to life, because I've met some of the coolest people in the world. What's cool about that is if I can do it, literally anybody can do it. So whomever you want as your audience, it's super easy to build. Now, the great thing about having a massive audience is that, number one, if you ever need anything, then it's your personal Rolodex. You have people that you can call for literally anything. But also, these are the people that are going to be your referrers of business. So in order to build a platform, we're going to talk about the different places where you can build your platform, your pulpit, or your stage that you can speak from. But the only way that you can really do it is to do it consistently. So the way I've built my platform over the last 10 years is by going out and interviewing people and writing about people in my blog. Originally, it just started with my own little newsletter where I'd go out and interview somebody to find out how they became successful in their life or business. And then I'd write a little piece for my own personal newsletter, and I would send it out to all my customers when I was in the mortgage business. And then that slowly evolved over time. I eventually started a blog where I would just write my articles on a blog. And then it evolved to where now I write for other people's platforms like the Huffington Post and Entrepreneur Magazine. The point is, all you need is a place where you can build from. And I'm going to show you different places to do it, but you're also going to need to time block. It's going to take you some time each week to build a platform. So the first piece you'll want to do is say, how much time do I have each week to dedicate to building just an audience of people who know, like, and trust me? Number two, you're going to have to figure out, what do you want to be known for? So because I'm in the real estate business, I could have gone out and become known for like interviews in the real estate space. I chose not to do that. I just wanted to build an audience of people that have built businesses before me. So that's who I chose to go out. That's my audience, people that have already built successful businesses. So basically I built this stage, which is my writing, my blogging through Huffington Post, Entrepreneur, and my own blog. I built this stage where I write articles, where I showcase cool business owners who have gone out and done what I want to do. But your content could be anything, something that you're going to be an expert in. It could be people that you're interviewing, places that you're writing about. Showcase your expertise, showcase something that you're passionate about, stuff you're interested in. So it doesn't necessarily have to be real estate related. Even if it's not real estate related, you can get real estate deals from it. So you're going to become known for something because of your writing, but it could be that you just love going out and writing about restaurant reviews. So here's how that would look. You would build a platform, and we'll talk about the different places you can build that platform. It could be on social media, it could be on your own blog that you create. You build a platform where all you do is go out each week and you try new restaurants, where you take pictures of the food, you give information about why you love that restaurant, where it's located, what other people love about the restaurant. And you might say, well, that has nothing to do with real estate. Well, I have news for you. 99% of the people that you surround yourself with are not interested in real estate right now. They are interested in you as a human being. So if we can get them interested in you as a human being, then all the other stuff, the money will come. They'll call you for real estate if they know you're in real estate. So you start your blog and it's restaurant reviews, and that's what you become known for. But along the way, you make sure people know, by the way, I also sell real estate. I'm passionate about the communities we do business in. That's why I write about restaurants that are in the communities we do business in. So you attract people to you emotionally through your passion, and then you sell to them by building relationships with them through your platform. What I always say you should not write or blog or speak about, what you should not build your platform on, is politics. I would be very careful about building your platform around real estate, because you're marketing to people who 99% of the people around you right now are not looking to buy or sell a house. So people are not interested in like you blogging about the latest real estate deal that's out there. Don't blog about boring stuff, and do not blog about stuff that you are just not interested in. If you are truly interested in a subject, it could be anything, restaurant reviews, it could be model cars, it could be photography, it could be literally anything. If you're interested in it, that will resonate with people. It'll stick with the people that are also passionate about that, because that passion is what is going to plant the seed for a potential relationship where you can help them buy or sell real estate. When I write or put any content out, even though my audience is not millions of people, I write and I put my content out as if millions are watching, reading, or listening, even if it's just one. So I put great effort into making sure I spell check stuff, like it's grammatically correct. I want good information to be out there. I don't want it to look sloppy or messy. I put it out there as if the world is watching. Once I write, and I'm going to talk about the different places you can put your information out, you want to get really good at sharing it, because most of the platforms that you write for don't come with an audience. There are exceptions to that. I do write occasionally for Entrepreneur Magazine. One of the great things about Entrepreneur is they have a massive audience. But for the most part, all the other places I write for, they have no audience. The audience is my own audience that I create. So it's going to be important that as you build your platform, you get good at sharing it with your audience and building your own audience by using social media. So I'm going to talk about some of the different platforms that you consider or can consider. Number one, blogging. So this is kind of the area where I have some expertise because I've been blogging for 10 years. All it is, it's writing. So sharing content with the world, like writing little articles. So you can blog. There are sites like WordPress where you can create your own blog, or blogger.com, even if you hate writing. So if you hate writing, there's things you can do to get around it. You can do a video blog where you just video yourself for each of your blog posts. Instead of writing an article, you're talking about something you're interested in, but it's just you on video. Or you can hire somebody who writes for you. So for example, one of the things that I've done over the last 10 years is I go out and interview people, because that interview process helps me create a bond with strangers. Strangers who I want to be like, because they've already created businesses bigger and better than I've created. So I go out and interview the people who I want to be like. I enjoy the writing process, but when I say to real estate agents that you could be the #1 real estate agent in your marketplace if you were to go out and interview one business owner per week in the town that you do business in. Interview the guy that owns the local pizza shop, or the guy that runs the local landscaping business, or a local contractor, or a school principal, or a school teacher. Once a week, pick a stranger in your community, go out and ask them for an interview, and write up a little article about the person. Now, the biggest objection that real estate agents have to that is they say, well, I'm not a great writer. And I say you don't even have to be a great writer, because #1, you could just do a Q&A blog where you ask somebody questions and then you write verbatim what their answer was to the question. Or you can hire people like through Freelancer or Elance or Fiverr that will write your article for you. So the fact that you don't love to write is a poor excuse as to why you can't build a massive platform around writing. So again, just using the blog, and I want you guys to think about this, that just using your LAER Realty blog, if you were to once a week go out and interview somebody in your community and write about them and put it on your LAER Realty, your personal agent website blog, which you have, then you will at least once a week develop a bond with a new potential referrer of business in your marketplace. When you write an article about someone, you get to have this intimate conversation in a world where nobody even talks anymore because we're all on social media. So you will develop a close bond with a new human being who will most likely start sending you business. Beyond that, they will share your article too. So once you write the article, you share it on your Facebook wall, your Facebook business wall, your Instagram, all these different places. But the person you wrote about is also going to go out and share it. So they're going to help you build your audience. So not only are you creating one new audience member a week, which is the person you're interviewing, you are also kind of piggybacking on that person's audience. Other places that you can build a platform. So let's say you don't want to put it out on a WordPress blog or your LAER Realty blog. You can just go out and start writing little articles like right on your social media. So technically, like, Facebook is a platform. I prefer to use sites like Facebook or Twitter as a distribution arm. In other words, all of my content is on one spot, and then I will share it using social media. But if that's not your taste, you can also write directly on the social media sites. LinkedIn is also a great place for writing a blog. If you don't want to use your LAER Realty blog, if you don't want to get your free WordPress blog, all of us have free LinkedIn accounts. Go in and update your LinkedIn profile, and they have a really awesome publishing platform where you can write articles right in LinkedIn. Everybody in your network is notified, so all your LinkedIn connections are notified when you publish a new article. You get to showcase your expertise, and occasionally, if LinkedIn likes your content, they will feature your articles. Some of my most read articles were not on Entrepreneur Magazine or Huffington Post. Some of my most read articles were housed on the LinkedIn publishing platform. Because if they feature you, you will get tens of thousands of likes and shares, and all of that means that you are building your audience. So, you'll see right when you go into LinkedIn, right at the top where you would normally, many of us put updates in LinkedIn, you'll see a little place where it'll say publish a post. If you click on that, it gives you a spot where you can basically write an article that will be housed on LinkedIn. Another way to build a platform is radio. So a couple different ways you can do a radio show or kind of like a podcast is, first I'll say if you have a local radio station, many of them are looking for people to give regular content. So I will say it's a commitment because they're going to want to make sure you are providing that content to them on a weekly or monthly basis. And before you do it, make sure that it's an audience that will resonate with your message. You will absolutely still need your own audience. Now, one thing I'll say is I've had a radio show for the last 5 years, and it's a commitment. Basically, we have to record every single week so that we're constantly putting new content out, and the radio manager gets on us if we have not added new content recently, so it's a huge commitment. Whereas some of the other platforms, like blogging or podcasts, which I'll talk about, you can kind of do at your own leisure. If radio is not your thing, then think about contacting the local cable access show and creating your own TV show. Steve Verdelli out of our Wellesley office has done a phenomenal job at building a massive platform of people that listen and watch his TV show on Wellesley Cable Access TV. So is there a cable access station in your town? Because if so, they're probably looking for content. So you approach them and say, hey, I want to do a show about whatever you're interested in. Steve's show, he basically interviews people around the real estate industry. So he interviews home inspectors, appraisers, mortgage people, and it's all about the process of buying a home, things of that nature. But he's built a platform for himself using cable TV. Next is podcasting. Podcasting is also a massive commitment. I've had a podcast now for about 5 or 6 years. You can find my podcast on iTunes. Also, it's a commitment because you always have to be putting out new content. And this is something you can do if you're not interested in writing, but you really want to do the interviews. Just think about who it is that you want to interview, and really think about spending some extra money to have it professionally produced so that you have some music in the beginning and in the end of it, etc. Another way to build a platform is through events. So we've done a whole program on how to do a killer event, but there's all different ways to build an audience by being a speaker. So you could host your own events like first-time buyer programs, investor seminars, and we've done entire classes on this that you can find on LAER University and on our YouTube station. You can do online events, but also you can also create or speak at someone else's event, like Rotary, business groups, conferences, galas. So I always say before you go create your own event, make sure you're comfortable speaking in front of a group, and the best way to do that is practice. Like, don't just go out and put on an event and have 20 people show up to find out that you really hate public speaking and you don't want to get up in front of everyone. Instead, reach out to the local Rotary organization or local business groups who are looking for speakers and say, I'd love to be a speaker at your event, and this is what I can come in and speak on. So try somebody else's event first. Another way to build a platform is to publish a book. So I've written a bunch of books over the last several years. These are all self-published books, and what I'll say is anybody can publish a book. You can go in through Amazon owns CreateSpace. You can write whatever you're interested in, and this becomes your personal business card. This book is your door to getting in as a speaker at events or conferences, and it's your business card. It's you displaying what makes you unique and special to the world. So I think it's a phenomenal sales tool, but also it helps you build a platform. You begin to develop a massive audience of people who are interested in your content. If you're going to publish a book, use a site like CreateSpace. Make sure to have it professionally edited. Nothing drives me more crazy than buying a book that some of the best books out there are self-published, but they're no good if they're not professionally edited. So pay some extra money to have it edited. Make sure your book is amazing and something that you're really proud of, that people would be interested in reading. It is your best marketing piece. It will absolutely get you onto stages, and anytime you get onto a stage, you are building your audience. And yes, you can hire somebody to write your book for you. So if you're listening to this and you say, yeah, I have a message I want to share to the world, but I hate writing, there are certainly places where you can go to have somebody write your book for you, such as Freelancer or Elite Elance. Another way to build an audience or create your platform is to be a contributor. All that is instead of having your own place where you write your articles and share your story, you piggyback on somebody else's. So all three of these, or all four of the ones you see here, Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, Hollywood Beauty Detective, Leaders in Heels, all four of those I have contributed for. So find places that already have a audience and say, all right, now I can get more people to be on my personal audience by writing for this place that already has a big audience. So why do we all need an audience? We need an audience because audience translates to customers. The bigger the audience you have, the bigger your business will be. So your audience is just people who are interested in what you have to say, because if you have people who are interested in what you have to say, they are more likely to buy from you. It takes a commitment to build an audience. It's not something that you can do stop and go. It's something that you have to time block and spend energy on each week. Also, when you are thinking about how you're building your audience and where you're putting your articles and content, remember that that platform might own the content. So some of the contents, like Huffington Post, they'd say, we don't want your content, you own your own content. But there are other platforms that say, hey, if you're going to piggyback on our audience, you can't use that article somewhere else. An example of that for me is Entrepreneur Magazine. If I write an article for Entrepreneur, I know I no longer own that article. They can do what they want with it, and I cannot do what I want with it once it has been on Entrepreneur. Also, what you need to know is that if you're piggybacking on somebody else's platform, like an Entrepreneur Magazine, you may disagree with their editing. So all of the different platforms that you could consider are going to have their own editing styles. So you might write an article, and the article that comes out is not really what you put in. It might look a little bit like it, but their people go and rewrite the piece. And then the last piece is when you're considering whether to write for somebody else's platform. So maybe you get to publish monthly in a local newspaper or on somebody's blog. Make sure that the audience really gets to know it's you. You don't want to write for a platform where they're trying to hide who the contributor is, because the whole point for you is that you're trying to build an audience. So you want people to know who you write for. So I've written for literally probably hundreds of different platforms: Entrepreneur Magazine, Inman News, Fox News, Success Magazine. I've written for American Express Forum. The more places you write, the more your audience will grow, because you'll start plucking people from all different audiences. A great place, if you're interested in building your platform by writing for other people's platforms, is helpareporter.com. So I've had 5 articles now featured on Realtor.com, and they all came from Help a Reporter. What Help a Reporter is you sign up and you say, these are the type of articles I like. For example, business and real estate. Every single day, they will send you emails of journalists from around the world that are putting stories together, and they are looking for content from particular people. So, for example, they'll say, we have a journalist from Realtor.com who's looking for somebody to comment on the current housing market. And then you respond and say, I'm interested in helping this journalist. So it's a nice, easy way for you to get mentioned in articles in all different places. Here's a sample of what it looks like your daily email. It just gives you a link of all the different stories that are going out there. And if one speaks to you, you click on it and it will tell you how to respond so that you could potentially be named as a source in that article. When it comes to Help a Reporter, just know that 50% of the time they're not going to take your content, because they have people from all around the world going after the same articles. What's cool about it is you don't necessarily have to write the article. They're just looking for a quote from you. So they'll ask you a specific question, and then they'll quote you in their article. And what I'll say too about Help a Reporter is you will get invitations to be in magazines, blogs, radio, TV, you name it. Most important when it comes to building your own personal platform, be consistent, be relevant and interesting, and be strategic so that it's not something that you work on every once in a while, but building an audience should be just part of your weekly routine when it comes to building your business. Quick recap, size matters when it comes to building your audience. The bigger the audience, the bigger your network, which means more relationships, which means more business. Not a bad idea to have multiple platforms. Your platforms include, you could be blogging, social media, LinkedIn, a radio show, a podcast, hosting events, writing a book, being a contributor, or just using other people's platforms. Time block audience building, or it just is not going to get done. You won't build an audience unless you have time each week that you're going to work on building the audience. The content should be stuff you love, people, places, things, happenings, etc. Do not blog about politics, real estate, or boring stuff. Social media is both a platform and a distributor. So even if you're writing on a blog or even if you're writing for other people's sites, make sure you utilize your Facebook and your social media as a place to distribute and share with your own audience. Remember, LinkedIn is a great publishing platform. So if you don't have your own blog and you want to start blogging literally today, LinkedIn is a place you can start writing your blogs today. Anyone can have a radio show, a local cable access show. Anybody can have a podcast, so why not you? Anybody can publish a book, so why not you? Become a contributor and write for your favorite magazines. And then helpareporter.com is a great place if you want to be a featured source in other people's articles. And then most importantly, be consistent. 2 great books to read when it comes to building content and writing and blogging for your business. The first one is Michael Hyatt, Platform it's called, Get Noticed in a Noisy World. And the other one is Content Rules. And that's a great book by a local Massachusetts-based author. And it's all about, like, no matter what your business is, how to build a blog, how to build content that people really want to read or listen to. And that is it on how to build a phenomenal platform to build an audience for your business. Thank you.